Is MacroFactor a contender for best macro and calorie tracker on the market? Hello everyone, I'm Janine with Feasco.com. Feasco.com initially reviewed this app at the end of 2021 when the app launched, and then we came back to it a year later. So we've seen how it's developed and the new features that they've released and just all of the changes that they made over the past year and a half. And I've experienced all of the app has to offer. I can honestly definitively say that I think MacroFactor is the best nutrition tracking app for calories and macros to hit the market thus far. Even better than MyFitnessPal, which was my go-to nutrition tracking app for many years. Today I'm going to go over the pros and cons of the app, who I think the app is right for, and who I think might want to consider using something else. If you'd like more information on MacroFactor, I've linked the full blog post in the description. It's going to have more information on how we tested the product, how you can save money on the app if you decide to purchase it, and any alternatives that we recommend. Now, this is a paid app. However, for me, MacroFactor is worth every penny. It's the most customizable nutrition tracker on the market. It constantly adapts to your metabolism, easy to use, and it's upgraded regularly as new scientific evidence or suggestions are presented. MacroFactor updates your nutrition targets in accordance with your ever-changing caloric needs, which really does help you get better results. And MacroFactor is designed in a way that encourages consistency rather than perfection, so users don't feel ashamed about their choices, and you can have more success long term. One of the best things about this app though is it has a large food database that's been verified to contain accurate nutritional information by a certified nutritionist. This is really important so that users can feel confident that the foods that they're logging are accurate. Having a food database that you can trust is really the difference between reaching your goals or not. Many other nutrition apps that I've reviewed, like LifeSum and Avatar, they also have verified food databases, but none are as large as MacroFactor, meaning they have a lot fewer food options to choose from. The app also has multiple different input methods for logging food, such as a barcode scanner, a voice input feature called AI Describe that allows you to dictate the inputs of your food log, and manual entry options to suit the user's preferences. Along with the multiple inputs though, MacroFactor continues to make adjustments to ensure that they have the fastest food logger on the market, and there's always more convenient ways to access their food logger from the homepage on your phone. The attention to detail with their food logger, it really makes this app stand out, because one of the biggest barriers for me with being consistent is that entering everything you eat into the app takes a lot of time. So if you have faster, more convenient methods to log your food, it's really appreciated. Another MacroFactor feature that I really enjoyed is a choice between 3 different coaching styles based on your personal level of experience and your personal preferences. This is really valuable for people who like to have more control over their calorie and macro adjustments, and for beginners who want to take advantage of the built-in coaching by having everything automated, so you have a choice there. And unlike other macro tracking apps, MacroFactor uses the data received over time from the user's results to estimate the user's energy expenditure. So this not only includes the amount of energy we expend through exercise and our daily activities, but also our resting metabolic rate, or the amount of energy we expend by just being alive. Other nutrition tracking apps that I've tested, like Fat Secret or My Macros Plus and Lose It, they use basic formula to estimate your energy expenditure during the sign-in process to suggest a calorie intake, but then they never use this information again. MacroFactor goes above and beyond by continuously gathering data to calculate your energy expenditure, and it uses this expenditure to make decisions about how your intake should be adjusted. Another feature that I think is extremely important is setting up a calorie floor. So if you don't know what a calorie floor is, it is setting a limit for the lowest possible caloric intake that the app can recommend, which is also important because if my calories are set too low, it can negatively impact my metabolism and it can cause a number of health issues. MacroFactor gives recommendations for a standard calorie floor, which is never lower than 1,200 calories a day. And you can opt for lower than this floor. You can get down to 800 calories per day if you really want to. But when I first used this app in 2021, they used to provide the option to remove the calorie floor, but it appears that they've taken this option away in recent updates. I recommend always setting a standard calorie floor unless you're in a bodybuilding contest or you're really trying to push your body to its limits temporarily. Another customization option that is available is to have my daily intake shift throughout the week. So this means that on some days I could increase my intake, which would lower my intake on other days to ensure that my weekly calorie intake stayed the same based on my goals. I think a lot of people would likely prefer this option if they want a higher calorie day on workout days and a lower intake on days that they aren't training. But others may prefer to have a consistent intake throughout the entire week. One downfall of MacroFactor though is there is no free version of the app. so users are gonna have to pay to use the app. However, MacroFactor does offer a 7-day free trial, so you can try the app before you purchase it and see if you like it. However, there are some benefits I would say that come with a paid app, like not having to deal with annoying advertisements. MyFitnessPal, for example, has a ton of ads on its free version, and its paid version is around $20 a month, whereas MacroFactor is about $11.99, which is almost half the price. And truth be told, after testing over 16 nutrition apps, some of the free ones just kind of suck. Yes, there are some great free tracking apps, there are, and some we've actually reviewed on this channel, but a lot of those, they just kind of leave something to be desired, and they often don't have all the features that MacroFactor has. This is a great all-around app, and I really do think it's worth the price tag here because it has a great combination of all the features that you would ever want in macro tracking apps. One other downside to MacroFactor is that the app doesn't have a place for users to keep track of changes to their body measurements, like your hip, your waist, your thigh circumferences, or to monitor your progress over time. And this is a feature that I actually really enjoyed on other apps because it's nice to have a place to store these measurements to track progress over time. But although MacroFactor allows you to track your weight and body fat percentage, there is still no place to track other measurements. Overall, there's really not that much I dislike about this app. It definitely is my favorite diet tracking app for calories and macros, and we highly recommend it to anyone who wants an app with a built-in nutrition coach. It's also great for anyone who wants an app that is continuously updated with scientific evidence and an app that facilitates a more sustainable approach to nutrition. The only people I think that I would not recommend this app to are people who want a free app or who are looking to track their measurements, because that's not a feature that's available. If you would like more in-depth information about MacroFactor and all of its features, I have linked the full blog post in the video description. This is going to go over how we tested the product, how you can save money on the app if you decide to purchase it, and any alternatives that we recommend. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you found this review helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel for more reviews like this one. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on our next review. Take care, everyone.